This is my new book, and it's available as an ebook. Right now, there's some problems with the printing, so I only have this available as an ebook. It's In Dreams Begin Responsibilities, the Existential Detectives Agency. Chapter 1. My name is Makimura. I am one half of the Existential Detective Agency. Kafka would say the idealistic half. Today began like any other. Morning coffee, looking over our notes and cases, waiting for the coffee to kick in to give us the motivation we need to start the day. Our first case is at 9:30. A man named Virgil is searching for his lost keys. I tend to think he is looking for more than that. A purpose, maybe. Kafka disagrees. Just do your work, he says. Dot your I's and cross your T's. Do not make things more complicated than they need to be. But how can I just go through life doing the bare minimum, not caring what becomes of my clients, not caring what becomes of me? You and I are just cogs in a machine, Kafka reminds me. The quicker you become at peace with that, the happier you will be. You are not some important actor in the world stage, Kafka reminds me. Just part of the set design. The client with the lost keys doesn't show, and the day seems to drag on. Kafka brings me lunch, some cucumbers and yogurt, as I work to follow up with all the other clients. At 7 p.m., our work still not finished. Kafka pats me on the shoulder and tells me, I am only so hard on you because I love you. Now go on ahead home. I will close up here. I smile and wave and head out the door. There is something odd about the air tonight. I walk the same route downtown, down the same alley, past the same old places I have walked 1,000 times before. But tonight it feels different. Tonight, I decide to walk inside. So this is where some of the printing issues are, as you can see. It is thick with cigar smoke and dimly lit. Let me see. There was no one at the front, so I head into the back, wondering if I can get a drink. That's when I see the most unusual collection of characters I have ever met in my life. I sit down. The man named Pablo says, We have been waiting for you. Pablo asks what I will have, and I tell him a gin and tonic. He smiles. So what are we discussing, I ask. The rabbit smiles at me. Why, we are talking about creation, the genesis of the meaning, the genesis and the meaning of it all. What else is there to talk about? I smile. An important topic indeed. So how do you imagine the world was created? I ask the rabbit. How do you know it is not still being created, he says, or that we are not just dreaming? I laugh, nervously. Pablo smiles. The rabbit is a fool, my dear Makimura, he says. The world is not still being created. It was surely made of pure passion, love, and desire. At the heart of everything is sex. The man to his right nods in disagreement. My name is Tolkien, he tells me, extending a hand. There is more to this world than sex. At its heart, the world was created from creatures that came from the beyond. Pure, noble creatures who battle for good and fight the forces of evil, who are ever present. It is all about morality, my friend. They then all turn to me and ask me what I think. What I think is at the heart of creation and what keeps the world running. I freeze. I honestly do not know, I say. The rabbit looks at me silent and unmoving, but judging me with a twitching nose. That is awful, the rabbit says. There's nothing worse in this world than not believing or knowing anything. They then all stare at me for the longest time before simply disappearing into thin air. The bartender then looks my way, mutters something about how I have been talking to myself for the past hour, and tells me to hit the road. I walk outside, unsure what is real and what is a dream. I walk the rest of the way home, the same path as ever, and yet I do not feel the same. I tell Kafka what happened. He smiles and tells me it is just the liquor talking and I should sleep it off. He starts to undress me and tells me to come to bed. I oblige and stare off into space as he caresses me. Kafka falls asleep, but my mind will not stop racing. I get up and stare at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. The face before me, although it is my own, seems oddly old and tired and unfamiliar. The more I look, the more I see the death underneath, the skull just waiting to peek out. At first I think maybe it is just a hallucination, like the rabbit and the writers of the bar earlier. But the more I look, the more certain I am that what I am seeing is real.